Right then, this is a quick walk around video for an absolutely lovely looking CR-V. This is a 2-litre EX automatic, 13 plate with just 32,000 miles on the clock. Car looks superb, finished in this really lovely light blue metallic. Looks lovely on the car with a black leather interior. Additionally, this one has some extra bits. You can see the chrome strips on the doors there. When you go around the front, you've got the same treatment done to the front fog lights and the upgraded grille as well. Looks absolutely superb on the car, especially in the flesh actually. But to go around the car for you, as I always do, lights and lenses there, completely clear and intact. There's no obvious cracks or condensation in those. Front bumper very clean. Likewise, bonds of the car hardly exhibits a stone chip anywhere. Coming down the near side, passenger side first. It's absolutely mirror smooth in the panel work. Near side front alloy, again in beautiful condition. The panels, excuse me, crunchy feet under the pebbles. Near side rear alloy, again, fantastic condition. And come around the back, again, all very, very clean and tidy. Chrome strip again on the rear hatch, not standard. All they're very subtle, but they work really, really well on the car. It really does stand out. And offside, driver's side, again, beautifully smooth in the panel work. Offside rear alloy, really, really good. And panels look absolutely lovely on the car. And final wheel, again in beautiful condition. It really is a very, very, very attractive car in lovely condition. Let's come into the boot area. Absolutely cavernous boots on the CR-Vs, and unlike so many, which even with low mileage have been very heavily used, this one's been treated very gently indeed. Coming into the back now with these wide opening rear doors. Again, enormous amounts of leg room. And I'm not cheating because I've got those front seats set for me and I'm over 6 foot tall. Leatherwork has been kept really, really well in the car. It's in very, very nice condition because this is where the kids tend to sit and they can be heavy-handed to say the least. Let's come into the front and the passenger side. Again, all very clean. Full set of interior mats. Leatherwork on the passenger seat there in super condition. It's coming in on the driver's side. Again, all extremely clean and tidy, including the driver's seat itself. So we're inside the car now. As always, the engine's running for this section, so the dash can be seen illuminated. The dashboard looks pretty much as new in all honesty. It's in lovely condition. Sat nav working absolutely perfectly. Pop the car into reverse there. Get that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working exactly as intended. Just to come up to the main dash binnacle. Hopefully you can see 32,529 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2-litre EX automatic. This car is registered SW13VNC. And with a very low mileage, just 32,521. The reason we do all of our videos is really simple. It's basically to ensure that if anyone's actually online looking at any of our cars, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is, like many people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs, only to get there and find out there's an obvious fault with the vehicle when you drive it, so hence that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads, very close to our premises, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, so hopefully then it'd be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. I do apologise, I've got a bit of a croaky throat today, so if it sounds a little bit subdued, I do apologise. So coming to the car, obviously with the low mileage and the service history attached to the car, you'd hope it drives well, and it certainly does. I'm going to go through all the usual things, starting with the engine, which with push button start on the top of the range car, engine starts and settles to a smooth, even idle. No warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. The only light currently illuminated is for low fuel, which is just popped on. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly how it's meant to be. The engines are superb units, they really are. Honda, in my humble opinion, have built the best 4-cylinder engines for decades. They are lovely engines. They are incredibly tough and reliable, very long lasting, but they're also just a very nice engine to use day in, day out. It's smooth, it's tractable, it pulls through the entirety of the rev range car. So there's a truck coming the other way, don't see many down this road, so I can pull over here. So yeah, I mean it's a lovely unit. I have to say, they're just got such a sweet edge to them. So many engines get into, they're kind of just dull, drony things, but they can have sort of slightly annoying kind of noise to them. But these are just wonderfully smooth. Engine then feeds in the automatic gearbox. Again, like the engine, they have a reputation for being incredibly tough and long lasting. Gear changes are very slick and smooth on the move, and I've obviously chosen the ratios very carefully to extract the best out of the car in terms of fuel economy and performance, also a compromise between the two. You do have these paddles on the steering wheel, which you don't have to put the gear lever into any particular position, it just stays where it is. Basically, it's really handy actually. I've used it. My wife's got a 2-litre auto petrol. Generally for overtaking, particularly if you need to blast past something a bit quick, but you don't want to risk the gearbox changing up halfway through. So literally any speed, you pull a tab back, either of them, and it will match the gear you select to your forward speed, so it can't over rev the engine. So now, if you could kind of imagine there was a tractor or something in front, pull this one back and select me 4th gear, I might go down to 3rd, even 2nd, put my foot down, accelerate past, change up with this one when I'm ready, and change up again, and it's really good. Used them frequently, but as I said, it's actually quite a handy feature on the car. Coming to the steering of the vehicle, the track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limits actually. But again, a really lovely power steering system, because what it gives you, this corner is a classic example. Turn in, very little movement on the steering wheel. It's precise, accurate. It's got a lovely weighting to it. It's not overlight. Makes the car feel very solid and confidence inspiring on the road. But it works beautifully with the chassis, because the chassis is unlike quite a lot of these cars, where you go through the corners and actually flows through corners really nicely without being sporty in any way. But it deals with corners really well. There's very little kind of secondary motion. There's very little wallowing or pitching that goes on with them, and that's particularly important for rear seat passengers who might not be concentrating on the road ahead. And the Honda CR-V has always been one of the better cars in that sense. Some cars will offer you a kind of what seems like an incredibly comfortable, pillowy ride. But then you find out when you go through the corners, that's at the expense of any kind of body control at all. Because this section of road up here, by the way, is akin to the surface of the moon. It is really horrible, and this rides it really well, without any kind of noises, clonks, groans, creaks, nothing at all. Very well done chassis. I'm going to give the brakes a bit of a shove in a second when I just get up to speed. Make sure no one is directly behind me and hold on to my things. Yeah, really good brake pedal on the car. So I left something in the glove box. The pedal's really solid, it's powerful, there's no kind of pulsing or vibration coming back through the pedal, so all in very fine order indeed. Worth pointing out, by the way, the car's going to be going through an independent MOT prior to sale, so all these things are going to be checked as a matter of course anyway, but quite often the seat of your pants gives the game away in terms of anything that might need doing. Coming inside the car's not been cleaned yet. It will be cleaned, obviously. It's not going to need a lot because it's in lovely condition in here. And they're just really nice places to sit. First thing you notice is you've got fantastic visibility around the car. You feel very confident in the vehicle. Massive wing mirrors helping with lane changes, manoeuvres, a low dashboard line, so you get a really good view of the bonnet ahead because you can actually see the bonnet, which is a miracle on modern cars. Can't necessarily see the end of it, that's a mute point. But obviously you've got parking sensors, front and rear camera, obviously to help. But they're very, very easy car to place on the road, and anyone that's driven one always feels very confident straight away driving them. Because some people fear, it feels like a big car, or it looks like a big car. They don't drive like a big car, they drive like a much smaller car in that sense. The other thing you notice straight away, of course, is typical of Honda, the build quality. They are beautifully put together cars. There's no squeaks, no rattles, no creaks, no groans. I know it's low mileage, but I've driven plenty of cars of this age with low mileage which have creaked and groaned, and from the manufacturers that are lauded as having the best build quality, which is utter garbage, of course, because the build quality is how they stay together over the duration, not when you handle them brand new. It's a very simple dashboard to come to terms with, even though it's very, very well equipped. As you can see here, sat nav working perfectly. You've got dual zone climate control, pumping out absolutely ice cold air, so you can obviously have different temperatures side to side if you so wish on the vehicle. You've also got a lovely feel to all the controls in the car. Everything you press has got that beautiful kind of precise rubbery quality action to it, which Honda give you on all their switchgear. Heated seats, again, working exactly as they should, even though it's nice and toasty outside. We check them anyway. Then you've got a dash binnacle in front, which by modern standards is actually quite simple, which I really like. It's just, you look at it, you get the information, you look away. You're not having to kind of, scan it to see, the information, take your eyes off the road, and it's all very nicely detailed, you'd expect of any Honda display. Nice, small diameter, leather-bound steering wheel, feels absolutely great with no wear on it that I can see at all. The one button there's an absence of, because they don't need one, it is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V, because not all CR-Vs are. But Honda worked out very quickly that the vast majority of people's driving, 99%, is going to be where you don't need four-wheel drive on, so that's utterly pointless having it whirring away. Because the problem with permanent four-wheel drive systems is they're permanently on, and that basically means you're going to chirp your tyres more quickly, you're going to get through more fuel, and you're going to put more mechanical stress to the vehicle. So the way this works is dead simple. Via the traction control, it's in front wheel drive pretty much the whole time, because that's the most efficient way to pull a car along. Should the front wheels slip, let's say that was ice on the junction there, pulled away, you momentarily almost feel it start to slip, but then the rear wheels seamlessly brought in to give you four-wheel drive. It's genius in the way it works. And I've got a CR-V, and my wife does. I tow our caravan with ours, and I've never come close to getting stuck with it, so it is very efficient. And also its lack of use gives it its reliability, because in nearly 3 decades selling Hondas using this system, we've never put a spanner on one of them. So in terms of the four-wheel drive system, so they are very, very robust indeed. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it, brief as it might be, is just to show the car operating, but to feedback on any obvious issues on the car, of which there are none at all. That's not the cleverest place to try and overtake a cyclist. You can see why these are so sought after. They're a very, very high quality machine, they really are, but they also drive absolutely beautifully. And I can't fault this in any way. As always though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.